Hi, friends. How are you? It's Julie Henricus, and it's Wednesday, March 6th, and I'm going live right now to talk about the blog post I did this week, which is part of a series that I'm doing throughout the month of March. Last week was on why do you do your work, and this week is about what do you tell folks about your work. The purpose of this series, and there will be 3 more blog posts about this, is because of some of the feedback I've been getting and some of the conversations I've been having with different folks about their artistic path. And I've had questions about burnout or about feeling lost or looking for direction or forgetting why you're doing it because the work itself is so hard, but sort of forgetting the core. So this second series, the second blog post is about what do you tell folks about your work. It's about claiming your space as an artist. And I'm also going to, in the comments here, post about podcasts that I just did with Michelle Lamoureux, the Good Life podcast, the Good Life Coach podcast, sorry. And I'll post it. I posted on the page, but I'll post it in the comments here. And part of what I talk about there is my journey as a writer, going from being a writer to a published author and what that looks like. But it's also the artist's journey, right? And the artist's path. The artistic path, as I call it, which I'm wildly and radically inclusive about who and what I include on that path, because I think that we can define success in the arts so structured, in such a structured way that folks feel automatically like they're not part of it. Does that make sense? They feel like they're not included in the success, or that they're not a real artist, or they're not a real writer, or they're not a real designer, or they're not a real whatever, because they haven't done these arbitrary benchmarks. But in the artistic path, you can hit these arbitrary benchmarks of being in this type of show or playing this venue or whatever, having a book published, and then you cycle through and you have to start it again. That's the deal. That's the gig, right? It's not a straight shot. It's a roller coaster ride. And part of the reason I created Your Ladders and what Your Ladders is about are building ladders over some of these obstacles, but also building your own ladder, building the ladder that is your success. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. And again, with the feedback I've been getting people about very specific questions about how to do things, but also some of the questions about how to traverse this roller coaster ride and stay true to yourself, or not lose sight of what the goals are. The other true fact on artistic journeys are that you usually have to do 2 or 3 jobs at the same time to make it all work, and you're not failing if that's true. And I'm going to say that probably a million times, and I say that in my classes, and I'm going to say that to you. And if you meet me in person, I'm going to say it to you aloud, because I want people to understand that. Just because you need to have a portfolio career, you need to do 3 or 4 things to make it all work, doesn't mean you're a failure as an artist. It means that this is the path. And we, here in the United States, live in a world that doesn't support the arts the way they need to be supported. And so that's true. So this month on the blog and in these lives and on Instagram and everywhere else you can find me, I'm going to be talking about and offering an opportunity for artists and folks in the creative worlds, whatever industry you're in, to take a minute and to just reboot, to do a little bit of internal work. On the blog posts for last week and this week, I have worksheets you can download as well. I will also have, a series wrap up at the end of this that we can do. I'm thinking about a webinar that will be done in early April to be part of this. And I'm also working on a new course that is specifically about managing and mastering your artistic path and what that means for individuals. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to launch it in April. I'm also working on some mini courses, and you'll hear more about those next week. But I just want to pop on here live. I'm thinking that Wednesday afternoons are not the greatest time to meet all of you. And so I'm probably going to move these lives to an evening time on a Monday or Tuesday evening. I'm going to look at my calendar and figure that out. So I will let you know. Stay tuned. And thank you all for doing your work. And I'm happy to pop on here. If you have questions, feel free to ask them, and I will happily answer them. And let me just also put here in the message the post that I did about this topic so that you have it handy for yourself. And I'm also going to put the post from the Good Life Coach podcast on here so that you can listen to it and get to know me a little bit better, but also get to know, have something to talk about there as well. As I said, in my creative life, I do many things, but I have worked as an arts administrator in the performing arts for over 30 years. I've been teaching arts administration in the performing arts for over 10, but my creative life is I am a published mystery writer, which is thrilling and great, and I was really happy to talk about that. But for me, these worlds all collide, and they're all part of the same journey, and that's my journey, and that's my specific journey. I read a Facebook post of a friend of mine recently who has gone back to doing community theater. She was doing professional theater for a long time, and then her life changed and she started doing other things, and she wanted to find the joy of performing. And what that joy meant was she went back to community theater, and how happy she is to have found the joy in her path again. I can't emphasize that enough. We need to find the joy in our paths. And so I'm hoping that this series of blog posts that I'm doing and these conversations I want to start can help folks reclaim that joy and find the why they're doing the work, and also how they claim their space publicly. What do you tell folks about your work? So head over to the blog post, download the worksheet, and stay tuned. If you sign up for my email list, you're going to get the blog posts sent to you every week, so you'll know as soon as I'm doing it. And I'm doing these live, so I'm hoping that you'll join me. And feel free to ask questions if you're not here. You can also ask questions on the post, and I will be back to it and happy to talk about it. I'm on Instagram, and I'm here, and I'm on my website as well. So I'm very passionate about this and what this means, and what the importance of the artist journey, and the importance of you doing your work, and how can I help you support that. So that's the goal of Your Ladders. And I want to thank folks for being here and for listening to me. And again, ask any questions, and I will probably change the time of these so that I can talk to more of you. And so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll talk to you soon.